Okay, so this is the kind of mess you get up to at 3:30 in the morning when you just can't sleep. So I had this extra tabletop epoxy lying around, and like I said, I couldn't sleep, so I have this big epoxy pour coming up here. It's going to be carved like crazy, and here's the epoxy for it here. Thanks to all the members and people that have been chipping in. It helps me be able to afford stuff like this for these videos. So what I did is, if I mix, because I'm going to mix this whole thing up, I did the measurement, and this should be a little bit shy of to fill this up. Well, it might be extra. I'm just not very good with that kind of stuff. But so I made this extra one to do a pour in here. It's cottonwood bark. This is butternut, I believe. And then I had this extra one too. So I did the pour in here. And yes, everybody, I know the bubbles. I know how to do the bubbles with a torch, okay? So this is not meant for a deep pour, this tabletop stuff here, okay? But I did it a deep pour anyways. So I'll carve this out. I put a light in there, right? There's a light in there I got off Amazon, a fish tank light, and you got to hook it up to USB. So, but you see, I used the metallic color. I got all these different colors now. Once again, thanks to you guys. Okay. But when I did this pour, I mixed up so much stuff in this container and stuff like that. I had way too much, so I said, oh shit, what am I going to do now? I didn't want it to sit in this container. So I ran downstairs, got some tin foil. I said, screw it. I have these red sparkles, okay, just dollar store stuff. I said, I got tin foil. I wrapped it up in the tin foil. Come on. So that's pretty neat. So all I have to do is just carve this tin foil away here. So I had that one full. And then I had to fill this one. This is the way it's really like. Okay, so this one's full, and then here's the very last of it. There. So anyways, I'm going to do this pour. I'm going to do it off camera because I'm not a epoxy pro, and I got to concentrate so I don't mess it up. But yeah, so, and this, I think this light, let's turn the light off, plug this light in. I think I mixed this too much of that black stuff in here, so you don't even see the friggin' light. That's just the way you go. You got to try on there with this kind of stuff, so. It was good to try this first before I do that big one, because that cost me 150 bucks with the lights installed there. Once I install the lights and this epoxy, it's going to be 150 bucks. Okay, so you guys, I got most of the lights turned off. You guys can see how this really sparkles now. Looks, that's my favorite colors, red and black. I'm not too sure about the sparkly stuff, but I got the light turned on here. You can see that that's the way that this stuff comes, metallic like that. See sparkles in there. But let me turn this light off. I don't think we're going to be able to see through this. I think I put the stuff in there too thick. I know it's going to be hard for you guys to see, but let's cover up this light. So I got the light covered up. You don't see any of the black in there. So that's a problem. But it's okay. Let me get things back to normal. So that just goes to show me that I can't put too much of this stuff in, or you won't see the light through it, okay? So, but when I do this carving, it's not a very big one. It's like maybe 8 inches long. When I do this one, if I carve here and I get the epoxy to show, if it doesn't show through when I thin out the epoxy, I could always thin out the back, like scoop it out in here, right? And let the light shine through, and then put some metal on the back so you don't see the light. You know what I mean? So carve it like a cone in here. So the light's sitting here and it will shine through the back. It will be hollow, and then I'll just put tape or something on here. But anyways, next I'm going to do this pour next. I'm not too sure when, but okay. So before I mix this epoxy up, and I got these black, that's what is it, micro powder, metallic stuff. I painted this dollar store red paint. It's water based, so they say to use water based paint, or if you have a water based finished. So when this is poured, a kind of black color, obviously not as black as that other one, not as black as this one, but so when I'm going to carve all my stuff in here, this is going to be a Carving Fusion crazy carving. So the outside's going to be a frame. I'll get it to look like wood. Then here, I'm just going to go Carving Fusion crazy here, heavy hands, let her go, and but you'll see the wood color. Then you'll see a thin line of red just all around where the wood meets the epoxy. It's hard to explain, but we'll have to wait till I get to that point. Okay, here's super time lapse of me doing the pouring the epoxy, mixing it up. You'll notice here, see the clumps in there? That's because the epoxy, you'll see more clumps, I'll show you. The epoxy crystallized inside the bottle because the bottles were stored in a cold location, or it's old epoxy. So I checked the instructions, I double read the instructions on the epoxy, and they say nothing about putting the epoxy in warm water the day prior to using it to release the crystals. So I did get reimbursed from Amazon for that epoxy. I contacted the company direct. They said they're not allowed to talk to me about it. I have to talk to Amazon about it. So, you know, it could be my fault, it could be their fault, but I'm going to blame it on them because there's no instructions on it, right? So all you do is put the bottle in warm water and it will release all the crystals and make everything flow better. That's why my first epoxy pour I did overheated, because I boiled the bottles in hot water, then I poured it when it was still super hot. So okay, so I mixed this stuff for a good 10 minutes. There's still some spots. I seen it pouring out all inside of this epoxy. Those spots. You can see them in here. Hold on. See them? See all those? Those aren't just bubbles. It's hard to see on camera. But they're like, the epoxy was too hard. So I know the solution for that would have been putting it in boiling water the day before to kind of release all the epoxy. But they didn't say nothing about it in the instructions. So, because what happened, maybe the epoxy was sitting on a shelf for a year or two, and well, it just kind of cures up, and you just have to put some warm water in it to like let the jars of the epoxy itself sit in warm water. But we'll see. All you can do is hope. All you can do is hope. This is for all the bubble heroes that commented on my first video. This stuff really doesn't get too much bubbles, it's so thin. Okay, so everything's poured, everything's set. I had this extra, I did a little canoe. I got stuff in there that's extra. Had a little leak here. Had a leak. Look how that stuff's like glass. Look at the reflection on there. So I'm going to give this full 72 hours before I carve it. I might not even have time to carve it before then. After then anyways, I might have to carve this stuff next week. But Elvis has left the building. Elvis has left the building. Okay, so it's been 2.5 days. This is the one that I did inside the very last stuff I had left inside the plastic container. I just pulled the plastic away and I put a bunch of different colors in here. So you can see now, it's not hard yet. You can shape it and stuff like that. So I still gotta give this another, let's see. I want to give this a full 7 days to cure before I carve it. So that's 2.5 days later. Yep. Okay, so it's been 3 days. Well, 2.5 days. Its stuff's pretty well cured now. This is extra stuff that I had that I poured. You guys saw there, little canoe. So it's pretty solid, but it's still soft. Okay, it's still soft. There's still, I'm not going to carve it. I'm going to give it a full 7 days to cure. So I did have some leaks. This both was sitting here, and leaks here. This did pretty good. This is like glass. So there you go, Torch Pros. I used the torch only a couple times. I did add more sparkles into this one. Just what the hell? Why not, right? So I probably will carve this one first just to see how it goes. So here's the big one. It's like glass. Wayne Gretzky would love to ice skate on this sucker. So I poured it all out, and there's a little bit in this cup too. This clear. So that's what I got. I did email this company and tell them that their stuff had crystallized in here. Okay, look, there it is all in there. You can see it like that. And I told them that they shouldn't sell stuff that's crystallized. They're like, well, you should have looked, and you should have put it in the sink in warm water for a little bit the day before. And I says, I know that, but I'm a beginner and I forgot to do it, and there's nowhere it says on the instructions to do it. So they said, well, it's not our problem, it's Amazon's problem. So I got a hold of Amazon, told them the problem, and they gave me a full rebate on this resin. So let's hope it works, because those chunks, like those snot chunks that I showed you guys, like this stuff in there, hopefully it worked, and it's hard. Anyways, that's that. So I'm just going to leave this video here. And my next video will be, I think you guys will probably want to see me carve a wood spirit in this. It doesn't have to be a wood spirit. I can carve a tree. Let's just keep it wood spirits. So I'll make a video carving this in a couple of days, once I finish that chainsaw carving. And then let's do a carving fusion free-for-all carving on this, and both these will have lights in them. So that's it for this one. Hope you guys are all good. And this one here too, I'll take all the tin foil off it, and I'll carve like a wood spirit on this. You could slide a little light in there. Just more reasons to spend money on Amazon. And I spend a lot of money on Amazon, but thanks to you guys, I'm able to afford things like this. So I'm gonna order some more of this stuff, and I'm gonna do I'm gonna carve a wood spirit, and I'm gonna make like a frame for it, and I'm gonna do a pour inside the woods on top of the wood spirit, so it's like thick plastic. Pete did something like that before. I'm gonna talk to Pete about that first, but who knows, maybe I should get a pressure cooker one of these days. That's it. Hope you guys are all good. Thanks for the support. And let me know what you think I should carve on this. Wood spirit or not. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. Maybe I'll do a sparkly giveaway. Carbon Fusion. Over and out.